TikTok, I'm asking for your help. I'm at the county jail and I came here with my husband to pay some debt, and there were ICE agents outside and we didn't notice, and when we were walking out of the county jail, they were waiting right there in the corner and they just took him from me, and I'm asking for help. We have 5 kids. I need their dad. Help me.
I can't handle this, y'all. This is crazy, yo. I didn't think this was about to affect me like this. But our neighbor's school, y'all know I work at a school. Fuck. Our neighboring school, I think it's Gratas, I don't know how to say it. It's Gratas or something like that. They were having their graduation. And there's helicopters in the sky. Most of these schools are... Fuck, yo. Most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Gratas, I believe elementary, was having their graduation. And all of a sudden, a bunch of parents have to run out because ISIS is there. This is the story that I'm hearing. And, you know, our school goes on lockdown. Our principal, you know, tells us it's a drill, but we know it's not a drill. And, you know, I had to come outside. It's my break. We kind of got like off of a soft lockdown. And, you know, parents had to run out because they don't have papers. And they had to leave their kids because the kids do. What type of shit is this, yo? And then kids are freaking grabbing teachers and crying on their leg because they don't know if they're about to see their parents when they get home. What the fuck is this? And we voted for this shit? 15 people just got picked up on Wilshire at the Home Depot. On Wilshire. Yo.
Need your help. I'm outside the ICE police. They took my brother. He's done nothing wrong. He's not a criminal. We've been in the States for over 20 years. He knows nothing else. He was a baby when we came here. We are legally allowed to be in the United States, and they took him. I have all the documentation. I brought it. ICE took him off the street. I need your help. They're not letting him out unless there's an immigration lawyer. I need an immigration lawyer. If you're a person of descent and you're willing to help, please. I'm in the LA office. This is literally ICE right behind me. I need help. I need help. I need help. He's done nothing wrong. He's a kid. He's done nothing wrong.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. So, Cuban Americans in Miami who proudly supported Trump are now watching their loved ones get detained by ICE. The pain is deeper now. It's not just outrage. It's families being ripped apart. Children separated from parents. Families broken. Black Americans want them. This would happen, but they didn't listen. They still went ahead and voted for Trump. Now they're living the nightmare they helped create. Let's get to see the painful videos, then we come back with a deep analysis about this topic, alright? And if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing so you never miss any update from my videos. Let's dive into it.
ICE assaulted a woman picking her kids up from school. This is a tough video to watch. She yells, my kids are in school. And before Trumpers go in my comments talking about she's here illegally, a civil infraction is not a criminal activity. You're not a violent criminal or a public safety threat. You can resolve these cases through other means that are not ICE agents undercover assaulting someone in a parking lot. That is very scary for everyone involved. How do you know if someone's being abducted versus detained for ICE, okay? If there's no identifying characteristics of ICE agents. We just covered a story yesterday where a random guy pretended to be ICE and zip-tied a woman for hours and hours. He zip-tied her. But ICE feels no need to identify themselves, so now random guys are just pretending to be ICE. And I know Trumpers say we voted for this, America wants to get rid of these violent criminals. These are not violent criminals. And in fact, look at the numbers. The Trump admin is deporting a higher number of non-violent immigrants than any other administration, okay? They are going after people at workplaces intentionally. They said, let's run our numbers up. They have quotas for deportations. This is all a demented game for them. It's never good to have quotas in law enforcement. You should be enforcing laws and caring about public safety. Them tearing through communities is not what America asks for. If you poll Americans, they do not want to assault women like this. They don't want to assault women like this. They want to go after criminals. But in the Trump admin, they believe every immigrant is a violent criminal. And now they're saying they want to eliminate foreign invaders who are both illegal and legal foreign invaders, whatever legal foreign invaders means to them. Please share this around. Most Americans are not seeing this. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos make sure of it.
When I was 14, ICE came into my home. They were dressed as regular police officers and we made the mistake to open the door. No warrant was shown, but once they opened the door, they took my dad. He wasn't a criminal. He was a business owner who paid his taxes. He would always show up for others and give without asking. And yet, they still took him. He was the main provider, and when ICE deported him, everything fell apart. We lost our home, our cars, and me and my 2 younger siblings ended up in foster care. That trauma changed the course of my life, and I'm speaking up now because I don't want this to happen to someone else. That pain never left me. No one deserves to go through this, but it's happening right now as I speak. So I want to bring awareness. For anyone that's going through this or knows of someone that's going through this, please listen. ICE often dresses like local police, hoping that people will open the door. But you don't have to let them in without a warrant signed by a judge. You have rights and you can use them. Grab a red card. It's a small tool that helps assert your rights in situations like this. Print it, keep it in your wallet, and give some extras to your loved ones. You could slide it under a door or show it through a window. It doesn't guarantee protection, but it's a powerful tool that can make a difference.
I'm an immigrant. I came here the legal way, and I think that is such a crazy argument to be making right now with the state that our country is in. Even though I came here the legal way, I understand that that was a privilege that I received solely based on where I was born. You guessed it, I'm Cuban, and I currently live in Miami. I just want to make sure that everyone who follows me on this page knows that I am not that kind of Cuban. I know you know what I'm talking about. This country needs serious immigration reform, and it's not in the form of mass deportations. It is not snatching people up when they show up to try to do it the legal way. Immigrants deserve to have their cases adjudicated in the court system. They deserve due process unless proven otherwise, mama. One last thing. If you're using the whole, oh, but you know, they're criminals, like they're just targeting the criminals. Like, are you so for real right now? Are you for real? Do better. If you are a Latina influencer on this platform and you're using this platform to benefit in any way, please speak up. Your community needs you. And lastly, this country was built by immigrants, and this country needs immigrants and serious immigration reform.
Folks, remember how I tell you to be mad, be outraged, demand accountability? Here's another one. Check out this headline. Cuban man who lived in the U.S. for 60 years dies in ICE detention in Miami. According to the Miami Herald, his name was Isidro Perez, age 75, came to the United States from Cuba nearly 6 decades ago. 6 decades ago. Spends 3 weeks in immigration detention, courtesy of ICE and the Trump administration, and ends up dead. Isidro was arrested on June 5th by ICE during a, quote, law enforcement action in Key Largo. He was being held at the Chrome Detention Center in Southwest Miami-Dade. He was, quote, ineligible to stay in the United States. Why? What did he do that was so bad that he had to be rounded up and then he ended up dead? Well, Isidro Perez apparently had been convicted in the early 1980s of 2 federal convictions for possession of a controlled substance. You heard me correctly. Early 1980s, Isidro was convicted for possession of a controlled substance. And according to the government's press release on this, no other arrest history since then. So the man had not been arrested since the early 80s. And at age 75, the Trump administration thought it was appropriate to round him up, put him into ICE custody, and he ended up dead. So there have been 10 people who have died in ICE custody since January of 2025. 3 in Florida had been at Chrome, 1 at Broward Transitional Center, and 1 at the Federal Detention Center in Miami. Oh, that 49-year-old Canadian man named Johnny Noviello found unresponsive and then later died. He was also in ICE custody. Isidro, like I said, the 5th person to die in ICE custody in Florida this year. Medical examiners have ruled 2 deaths in January and February to be from natural causes, but a Miami Herald article revealed evidence of substandard or delayed medical care. This is unbelievable. So the Trump administration swore that they were going after all the violent criminals, and yet what have we seen? We've seen footage across the country. They're going to the Home Depots, the churches, the workplaces, the farms, the restaurants. The hotels. They're going to foster care now. They are going to round up people indiscriminately. Why? Because they see somebody and they're like, oh, look, he's brown. She's brown. They must be an illegal. That's what they think about the value of your life is.
Being from Miami, I don't know how to feel about Cubans being in their find out era. Because they took over Miami, and it was to the point where you couldn't even find a job unless you spoke Spanish. And even if you spoke Spanish and you wasn't Cuban, you wasn't getting that job. And I give them a lot of credit because before their family or friends would leave Cuba, they would already have a job, a car, and a place to stay by the time they reached Miami. They really set up their people very, very well. Even had a wet foot, dry foot policy. Where they messed up at was thinking that they thought becoming a Republican was going to make them turn. And the whole time they're speaking Spanish. And a majority of them didn't even bother to learn English, but yet they thought they were. And my main question is, what is the difference between Fidel Castro and 45? Until then, azúcar.
Stand up, Miami Cubans. Stand up and take a round of applause for playing yourself. Oh, you think this is going to only affect those without documents, right? How are they going to know? How are they going to know who is here legally and who is not? Oh, you're going to let them violate your constitutional rights and ask you for your ID? Oh, you think, oh, I'll just show them my ID and they won't bother me, without realizing that is a violation of your constitutional rights. Do you even know your constitutional rights? Do you even know? Or do they just keep you down there in Miami in some of the worst schooling in the nation, and they don't tell you your constitutional rights as they stomp on them? Oh, you think it's going to affect others and not you. It's the selfishness that really gets to me, the selfishness that they voted for this. And I'm not saying that Haitians, Venezuelans, and Nicaraguans, whether they were here legally, voted for this. No, specifically Miami Cubans who were so blatant on the timeline leading up to the election that they wanted this, but you didn't realize how it's going to affect your life, because how do they know who is documented and who is not? You're about to FAFO.
I have zero sympathy for Cubans that voted for that delinquent mother. Y'all are now facing the consequences of your own actions because of your pure fucking ignorance. A lot of the Cubans that came here from the island and decided to support that motherfucker that were on humanitarian parole or various other immigration programs to try and stay in this country are now crying and suffering the fucking consequences of their own stupid actions. I just watched 3 back-to-back interviews with different Cubans that came from the island that had some type of application in with immigration and were deported back to Cuba, and they were supporters of the rapist, crying on camera. One of them even has a disabled child and another little kid. The wife had to stay back, and he was deported back to Cuba. And they were staunch staunch supporters of this delinquent piece of shit. I am Cuban. I was born in Cuba, but I consider myself to be Cuban American. I decided to educate myself from a very young age. Back in about 2004, when John Kerry was running for president, I already knew at that point that I was a Democrat because I aligned directly with those values, because I learned in political science and U.S. history classes in school what being a Democrat or aligning with those values was in comparison to conservative values. And mind you, my family were refugees from Cuba. My dad was a political prisoner, right, in Cuba. My whole family is conservative, Republican, but from a very young age, I decided to educate myself, to go to college, to do my own research. Even from the time I was a kid, even before going to college, I did my own research. And I always have. When you come from another country and you decide to go from one dictatorship to another, and you decide to continue supporting the same bullshit, just instead of with a communist flavor, with a fascist flavor, then you are going to reap what you sow, and you are going to collect the fruits of the bullshit that you decided to vote for.
Do you know who is starting to come across my FYP that is totally pissing me off? It's not maggots. Well, it is the maggots. They're a piece of shit and they're dumb as hell. They piss me off every day. But it is this whole group of the Latinos that went and voted for Donald Trump. I guess you could say they fucked around and found out, and they went and voted for a man that we told them do not vote for. They went and voted for the man that said he is going to do exactly what he's doing, and they want sympathy from us? I don't care. I don't care at all. F you, and I hope you get deported.
It's one thing to vote for someone and regret. It's another to see your community and your own family pay the price. These Cuban families are now facing the same system they cheered for when it was hurting others, and it's brutal. ICE doesn't care if you supported Trump. They only see undocumented bodies to remove. Maybe now they understand why black and immigrant communities screamed so loudly. This is what it looks like when you vote against your own future. And now the reality has arrived. Now our message is simple. We hope this pain leads to reflection. We hope you've learned that aligning yourself with supremacist ideologies does not protect you. It eventually consumes you too. We hope next time you vote with the whole community in mind, not just out of fear or self-preservation. It's time for Cuban Americans and all immigrant communities to see who really stands for justice, unity, and freedom. We hope this lesson stays with you, and that in future you'll make choices that uplift others, not oppress, because this life is bigger than politics. It's about all of us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely time. I'll see you in the next video.
Hey!